My name's Jennifer. I'm 33, an IT contractor who mostly works with small businesses. Nothing glamorous, just enough money and freedom to live life how I like it. I'm not the party girl, not the center of attention, and definitely not the family favorite. That title has always belonged to my younger sister, Rachel. She's the golden child. Beautiful, loud, charming, always the one everyone wants to talk to at family dinners. I'm the one who gets asked to fix the Wi-Fi, but that's fine. I never needed the spotlight. I just wanted peace. Last year, I proposed to my boyfriend of 4 years, Ethan. He's the kind of person who writes thank you notes to baristas, the one who brings extra snacks to road trips in case someone forgets. A good soul. He said yes through tears, and we started planning a small wedding. Just 50 people, close friends, some extended family. The venue was a little vineyard an hour outside the city. Nothing fancy, but beautiful. My parents weren't thrilled that it wasn't a church wedding. Rachel joked, "So you're doing a picnic wedding? That's cute." I let it slide. It's what I always did. The plan was simple. Ceremony at 4 p.m., dinner by sunset, my friend Jake handling music, Ethan's cousin doing flowers. Rachel RSVP'd yes. Mom said she'd be there early to help set up. Dad even agreed to walk me down the aisle. I rented chairs, 50 of them. That morning, Ethan was in his prep room with his friends. I was pacing in my little bridal suite, checking the time every 2 minutes. 3:30, then 3:45. No one from my family had arrived. By 3:55, I was sweating through my dress. I texted Rachel, "Hey, you guys on your way?" The read receipt popped up, then nothing for a solid minute. Then came her reply, "Relax, no one's coming." I stared at it, not even understanding. Then another text buzzed in. "We're all at my engagement dinner instead." What? 2 minutes later, another notification. "Mom, by the way, I used your card. All $500. Pop some more on it." I didn't reply. I just stood there blinking. Outside, the officiant poked her head in and asked, "Are we ready to begin?" I nodded. "We are." That night, I said my vows alone in front of 47 empty chairs. At 3 a.m., I sent a single message to the family group chat. "You'll want to watch this before Grandpa sees it." Then I attached a video and went to sleep. Let me back up. Rachel has always been the center of our family's orbit. When we were kids, it was little things. If I got an A, Rachel got a smile and a "you're so smart." If I got a B+, I got maybe try harder next time. When I fixed Mom's laptop, I was just doing what Jennifer always does. When Rachel updated her Instagram bio, Mom would call to talk about it for 40 minutes. By the time we were adults, it wasn't subtle anymore. Rachel landed a marketing job at a boutique PR firm downtown. I secured a long-term contract doing back-end systems for a medical supply company. Mine paid better, had benefits, real responsibility. But guess who got the family celebration dinner with champagne? Not the woman keeping hospital servers online. The money part got complicated fast. Rachel got used to being bailed out. Maxed her first credit card at 23. Dad paid it off. Got fired from her second job for skipping too many days. Mom called it a toxic work culture. When Rachel wanted to lease a luxury SUV on an entry-level salary, guess who co-signed the loan? Me. "It's just for a year," she said, "until I get promoted." That was 4 years ago. She never got promoted. I was still getting the statements. It wasn't like I had money to waste. I earned well, but I was careful. A modest apartment, a 10-year-old Honda, home-cooked meals most nights. Everything extra went into savings with a quiet promise. This is for Ethan, for a home, for our wedding, for our future. Ethan knew about the money situation. He wasn't thrilled. I told him, "It's just family. They'll come around." And he believed me. God, I wish he hadn't. My parents treated Ethan like he was acceptable, not amazing, not warm, not like a new son, just there. Dad forgot his name in stories. Mom once asked him at Thanksgiving if he was still between jobs when he'd been a project coordinator at an engineering firm for 2 years. Rachel noticed everything. She always needed to be the most admired person in the room, and in our family, she was. When Ethan mentioned a promotion, she changed the subject. When someone complimented him, she smirked. Quiet, sharp, little cuts. Then came the engagement. I told my parents first. They were polite. "Congratulations," Mom said. "That's nice." Rachel's response was immediate. "Wait, you proposed before telling me? That's rude, Jennifer." I brushed it off. We wanted a small wedding. 50 guests, no church, no speeches, simple vows. sunset dinner. Rachel called it a Pinterest fantasy. Mom kept pushing changes. Are you sure you don't want your father to do a toast? He's already walking you down the aisle. Ethan tried to keep the peace. It's one day, he said. Let's not fight. I should have known better when Rachel offered to handle the cake. We sent her $480 from the wedding fund. Weeks passed. She said it was ordered. Then one night, Ethan found an email invoice. Rachel had refunded the cake and spent the money on a spa day with her friends. She didn't deny it. I was stressed, she said, and no one even eats cake at weddings. Just get cupcakes or something. That was 2 months before the ceremony. I should have canceled her invitation right then, but I didn't. Because I was still holding on to the hope that my family, selfish, dysfunctional, blind, would show up when it mattered. They didn't. Then came the dress drama. Rachel wore white to my bridal shower. White. Not cream. Not off-white. Full, unmistakable bridal white, with a fitted bodice and matching heels. Everyone noticed. Every single person. Ethan noticed too, but he didn't say anything. He caught my eye across the room, concern written all over his face. I said nothing. I smiled. I greeted guests. I passed out party favors like everything was perfectly fine. But when we got home that night, I locked myself in the bathroom and cried for half an hour. I just wanted one day, I said through the door. Just one day where I didn't feel invisible. Ethan sat on the floor outside, back against the door. He didn't interrupt. He didn't tell me to calm down. He just stayed there. We were 2 weeks out from the wedding, and deep down, I already knew. I knew something would go wrong. I just didn't think it would be this bad. The morning of the wedding was quiet. I woke up at 6 o'clock a.m. to sunlight leaking through the hotel blinds. Ethan was already awake in the other room, sitting at the desk in his suit shirt, sleeves rolled up, writing in a small notebook. He looked calm, focused, steady. He smiled when I walked in. Vows? I asked. Almost done, he said. I kissed his cheek and told him I'd give him space. I went to grab coffee and told myself again that everything would be fine. I stopped by the venue early to help unload chairs, check the setup, do the last-minute things brides do when they're trying not to think too hard. At 10 a.m., my phone buzzed. Mom. Hey, just a heads up, she texted. Rachel said there might be a delay. Don't worry. I didn't think much of it. Rachel was always late. Hair, makeup, drama. Okay, I replied. See you all by 3. No response. By 2:30 p.m., guests started arriving. Ethan's friends, his cousins, my college friend Jake, who drove 4 hours just to be there. The officiant set up beneath the vine-covered arch. Flowers were placed. Chairs lined up in neat rows. Everything looked perfect, except my side. The chairs reserved for my family were completely empty. No mom, no dad, no Rachel. I walked behind the venue building, phone shaking in my hand, and texted my sister. ETA? A minute passed. Then the typing bubble appeared. Then her message. Relax, no one's coming. I stared at the screen like it was a typo. Then another message came through. We're all at my engagement dinner instead. I felt my chest tighten. My hands went numb. Then Mom chimed in. By the way, I used your card. All $5,100. Pop some more on it. I typed one word. Understood. Then I put my phone away and walked back toward the ceremony space. The officiant looked at me carefully. Jennifer, she asked, are we ready? Yes, I said. Start. I stood at the front alone. Ethan walked down the aisle from the opposite side, composed and dignified, like nothing was wrong. Like his bride hadn't just been abandoned by her entire family. Like this wasn't happening in front of 47 guests and 47 empty chairs. He met my eyes and squeezed my hands. I do, he said. I do, I said back. People clapped. The photographer took pictures that looked beautiful if you didn't know what you were seeing. No one mentioned the empty rows. No one asked questions. We cut the cake, the one Ethan ordered himself 2 days earlier when we realized Rachel had never replaced the original. We danced. Jake gave a speech. Ethan's uncle played the piano. At 9 p.m., the reception ended. We drove back to the hotel in silence. Ethan reached for my hand and squeezed it. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I didn't answer, not because I was angry at him, but because something inside me had finally snapped, like a switch flipping off. Something I'd ignored for years finally broke clean through. They chose her again, on my wedding day. Back in the room, Ethan went to wash up. I sat on the edge of the bed and opened my phone. Rachel had posted on Instagram, a rooftop bar, engagement balloons, her and her fiancé smiling. My parents behind them, glasses raised, proud and glowing. I stared at the photo. I didn't cry. I didn't throw my phone. I just felt cold. So I opened my laptop. What Rachel didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I had a small YouTube channel. I started it during lockdown. Tech tutorials, funny skits, occasional personal vlogs, nothing huge. But I'd been consistent. One video fixing a common Windows bug went semi-viral. I had 68,000 subscribers, enough for side income, enough for a platform. At 2:53 a.m., still in my wedding dress, makeup smudged, hair half undone, I hit record. I didn't shout, I didn't cry. I told the facts. Today was supposed to be my wedding, I said. My family didn't show up. They went to my sister's engagement dinner instead. My mom used my credit card to pay for it. I paused. This isn't about revenge. It's about clarity, about being second for years, about being told to keep the peace until you forget you're allowed to be angry. I ended with one sentence. I'm done. I uploaded the video privately. Then I sent one message to the family group chat. You'll want to watch this before Grandpa sees it. No emojis, no threats. Then I shut my phone off and crawled into bed beside my husband. For the first time in years, I slept straight through the night. I woke up to 53 missed notifications. 4 from Mom, 3 from Dad, 28 from Rachel, the rest from extended family, and strangers. The video didn't stay private. Someone shared it. It spread. A few hundred views, then thousands, then a Reddit thread, then TikTok. Within 24 hours, my channel jumped from 68,000 to 150,000 subscribers. The comments flooded in. This is heartbreaking. Your family is unbelievable. Ethan is a saint. I've lived this story. Rachel's Instagram went private within 6 hours. My parents posted nothing. The silence was loud. The family group chat exploded. Dad first. Jennifer, take that video down now. Mom next. This is deeply unfair. You're airing private family matters. Then Rachel. Pages of text, accusations, rage, not one apology. I didn't respond. That night, Ethan cooked dinner like nothing had changed. We ate at the table, just us. You okay? He asked. I think so, I said. I'm proud of you. That mattered more than anything else. 3 months after that wedding, Ethan and I moved. A new apartment, not big, but bright, quiet. Most importantly, free of their memories. We framed one wedding photo and hung it in the living room. Not from a ceremony, because there never really was one, but the picture taken at sunset. Just Ethan and me, standing in the vineyard, holding hands, with rows of empty chairs behind us. No guests, no family, just us. Perfect in its own way. Sometimes people still recognize me online. Are you the woman from that wedding story? I smile and say, yeah, that was me. I'm not ashamed, because for the first time in my life, I told the truth. And I chose peace, even if it meant closing the door on people I once called family. It's been 9 months since that day. I haven't spoken to my mother since the text she sent minutes before the ceremony. By the way, I used your card, all $500. You can add more later. She emailed once around Christmas. 3 lines of apology sandwiched between passive-aggressive comments about how family matters should stay private and how everyone makes mistakes. I didn't reply. Rachel went completely silent, unfollowed me everywhere. A friend of Ethan's told us she postponed her own wedding. Apparently, her guest list started shrinking after the video. She calls it a spiritual break. I call it consequences. My father never reached out again, and I'm fine with that. He made his choice the moment he sat in a restaurant enjoying dinner while his daughter stood alone in front of 47 empty chairs. People ask if I regret posting the video. Not for a second. Because it wasn't about revenge. It was about taking my voice back. For years, I let them rewrite the story. That I was too sensitive. That Rachel just had a strong personality. That my mom was only trying to help. That my dad was stuck in the middle. No. The truth is, they chose Rachel over and over again. And I was the one paying the bills, staying quiet, swallowing it all, calling it family. I was erased so many times that I forgot what it felt like to stand up, until I finally did. And once I stood up, I never sat back down. Ethan and I are better than ever. We had a small celebration, our own version of a wedding 2.0. No speeches, no pressure, just close friends, candles, and a taco truck in the backyard. It was perfect. Ethan wears his ring with pride, and when people look at us now, it's no longer with pity, but with respect. Like they understand we walked through fire and didn't come out bitter, just stronger. We moved across town, smaller place, warmer, fresh walls, no ghosts. Ethan hung our favorite wedding photo near the kitchen, the one where we're dancing alone, surrounded by string lights and empty chairs. Some people say it's sad. I think it's honest. It reminds me what we survived. Sometimes I wonder if my family will ever change, if they'll ever truly understand what they did, not because they were exposed, but because they finally see it. I doubt it, and I've made peace with that, because the real victory wasn't exposing them. It was letting go of the guilt, letting go of the obligation to keep the peace while destroying myself, letting go of the idea that I owed them endless patience while they gave me nothing in return. I don't owe anyone access to my life just because we share DNA. Family is supposed to be a place of safety, not a lifelong debt. And when people show you who they are, when they miss your wedding, drain your account, and smile about it, believe them. These days, I still get messages from people who watch the video. Sometimes it's a teenager saying, "Your story gave me the courage to speak up." Sometimes it's a grown woman saying, "That was my childhood too." Sometimes it's just, "Thank you." Every time I smile. Because maybe what happened to me isn't rare, but finally telling the truth, that was mine, and I'm keeping it. And if you're reading this, if your family has ever made you feel like a backup plan in your own life, remember this. You don't need their permission to walk away. You don't need their approval to protect your peace. You get to choose who has access to you. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is close the door quietly. No drama, no rage, just peace. And when that silence settles in, when they realize they can't reach you anymore, that's when they'll understand what they lost. By then, you'll already be gone.